Hello, everyone, and welcome back to What Won the Week, where we tell you all the great news that's happening this week, even though we are overshrouded by a lot of crazy news. Can't believe that, but it happens. But today, I have a couple of really special guests that I'm very excited to bring onto the stage. You may know him from Marvel Movie Talk. You may know him from his Blackcast podcast. You may know him from all things fun and marvelly. Please, everyone, welcome Christian Black.
Oh, go on. Talk more about how great I am, please.
Okay.
Because,
He makes great text messages.
I try to put a lot of time into it. Thank you, Katie. I'm excited to be here. Obviously, I needed you to get that dead weight Matt Kelly off the show, and then I would come on.
Yes, I mean, Matt Kelly is celebrating his girlfriend this weekend for her birthday. So doing a lot of really good stuff. I think he's in Gettysburg at the moment.
When you told me he was in Gettysburg, I was like, of course he is. Now, my sister went to college in Gettysburg. I've been there. It's a wonderful place if you're interested in that. Yeah.
Well, speaking of Marvel Movie Talk and great places to visit, I would like to bring on someone who is also on Marvel Movie Talk, who's also on One the Week, also known as The Beard. But please welcome Eric Connor. Chicken dinner, yes. Welcome. Yeah.
Warming up in the pen.
Okay, I think the Mets maybe did something good this week.
Not at all. Not at all. Not a thing. Not a thing.
Great,
but you did. You both did. Hello.
Well, speaking of even more great things that happened this week, I reached out to a couple of old colleagues of mine to join us here on What Won the Week. And one of them you also may know from the Napping Through Happy Hour podcast, from Christian Cringe. You may know her for just being a really amazing person, but my former colleague and current co-host, please welcome Marie Brand. Hello. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi, Marie.
Glad to have you back on the show.
Good to be here.
Speaking of people from our old work, I have the greatest pleasure of introducing two people that I have not brought to the Geekscape Network except for on Napping Through Happy Hour, though one of them needs to be back and needs to come on and hasn't been on just yet. But I'd like to introduce to you all the first one, Justin Parker and Talia Adams. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I'm just waiting for my third invite to the podcast. That's all.
You can't get your third before I get my first. So
Fair enough.
I was hanging out in Google Meet for like the past 5 minutes, had a fabulous conversation with none of you.
Oh, goodness.
I hope that I gave some good insight in that conversation.
It was me and alone in a room.
Well, it was the best insight Eric's ever gotten. And Katie, as someone who does a lot of these shows, I spend a lot of my time in this chair doing shows for various networks. The fact that you have 6 people in boxes right now is actually really giving me anxiety. I'm really stressed out. I'm glad this. All I'm going to say.
No worries. Oh man, where did he go?
So much better.
Crazy. So much better.
God,
somebody forgot I have control of the channel too.
Screen flex.
Anyway,
Wow.
I'm glad. What I was going to say is I'm glad you're hosting because it'll be fun to be one of 6 when you don't have to try to balance all 6.
Absolutely. I got it all handled and covered. It was mostly because I was like, hey, does anyone want to do this show today? But yes, but we are here to bring you all great news that happened during the week. Things that either bring us personal joy or newsworthy joy or just made us chuckle. So, Christian, I introduced you first. What is the thing that you brought that won the week?
Well, I, on a personal level, getting my kids into zoo camp at the LA Zoo, people don't understand how hard that is. My wife said it was easier to get Taylor Swift tickets, true story, but we did. So that's the personal level. That's what I'm mostly excited about. and opening day in baseball is always exciting. But for me, it was a no-brainer when you asked if I could be on, and it hurts that you asked 8 other people as well, but still you asked me, and I appreciate that.
I'm sorry, Matt usually sends out an email at the beginning of the week, and we didn't get that.
That's all right. Yeah. Look, he's playing dress up. He's playing Civil War photographer right now.
Exactly.
And we can't wait to see what he's gotten. So for me, what won the week easily is something that 3 of us, this top row here, has already talked about on this channel. There were 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again on Disney Plus this week.
Ooh.
And episode 5, to me, was one of the best self-contained hours of, 1, Marvel television, 2, Disney Plus television, but one of the best just single episodes of a show that I've seen in a while. I was calling it 41 minutes. Our co-host Nate Miller pointed out it's actually 32 when you cut out the recap and the credits and the Czech voiceover dialogue dubbing, the ADR and stuff. So, but it was great. It was just this wonderful story where our hero Matt Murdock is still a lawyer. He has not put on the suit at this point since the beginning of this season, and he's dealing with a bank robbery. We have some familiar faces, which was kind of unexpected. I think people are referring to this as the crossover we didn't know that we needed with Kamala Khan's dad from the Ms. Marvel show, and of course the film The Marvels. So we get to see him, and that was, of course, very exciting. And there were some Irish bank robbers, which my Irish friend Husey pointed out that getting to see a Protestant have his leg broken on St. Patrick's Day was what made it for him personally. And we also have Husey's an interesting guy. Don't invite him on this show.
Don't
yeah. And then it also just had an amazing joke that was shared by Detective Maggie, and I actually forget Maggie's last name, the character name. But it's no, it's not. It's just this long. She's tried. The kidnapper's given her a chance to, you'll get more time if you can make me laugh. So she tells this leprechaun joke about are there leprechaun nuns? And then the punchline is, I just fucked a penguin. So so there's that level, but it's also just this great story. It's a great guy is a superhero, but not being superhero-y, not being all in, up in front with it, thwarting a bank robbery. So I thought it was great. And I know the 2 of you both saw it, and I'm enjoying that show very much, the way it's building. There are people on this network who feel very differently about Daredevil Born Again, and I don't try to change anybody's mind. I just talk about how happy I am about it.
How about the row down below us? Did you guys watch Daredevil at all?
Nope. I watched the original.
The one with Ben Affleck.
The real one.
No, the original.
The Netflix show. Netflix show is great.
Sorry, Netflix. Yeah, I haven't watched this season yet, or I don't know. I guess this reiteration. I haven't. So because I'm that person nowadays, when I want to watch a new show, I wait for as long as possible so I can just binge episodes. So I don't know if they're all out, but they're not, right?
So we have 6 episodes. There'll be a total of 9. So you want to wait a couple of weeks. I did the same thing with Severance, but mostly because I'm cheap. I waited for the season to end, so I only have to pay for Apple TV Plus for 1 month. I didn't want 3 months of it. So.
I don't think that's cheap. I think that's smart.
Thank you, Justin.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
In this economy, smart.
Yeah. Right. yeah. So look, this is the month where my kids don't eat eggs, but it's all right. I have Apple TV Plus.
None of us eating eggs anyway.
That's right.
About to say this. We're not top 1% in this room, so no,
okay,
eggless.
Well, speaking of Elon, Eric, what was your favorite thing of this week? What won the week for you? Yeah, was it
I'm looking for the bridge. I'm still looking, but I'll find it.
There was a lot of great TV. Elon sit down with Brett Baer. That's what you brought to the table, right?
Yeah, most def.
Okay, great.
And I've never had a Tesla, and it doesn't sound like I will because I don't want paint thrown on it or lamb's blood or whatever people are using now for protests.
me flipping it off every single time I see one on
Right,
the street.
right. Or you cutting my breaks. Great week of TV. I bet, Katie, you might even go there because I know you sent some stuff previously, not just about our Marvel geekdom, but our Severance geekdom. Yellow Jackets, I don't think you and I talked about, but I did stay up late and watched that episode. So there's a lot of great TV, but I was also like, well, I'm going to try and walk away from TV. So I'm going to walk towards TV and talk about sports on TV instead, because obviously that is so much more athletic of me. I'm not a huge NBA guy. I root for the Sixers, which just means I hate myself. And every time I think I like myself, I look in the mirror again. I'm like, nah, that dude sucks. But the last 12 seconds of the Lakers Bulls game was possibly the most exciting sports I've ever seen that I couldn't give a crap about. I grew up a Sixers fan. I always hated the Lakers. I lived in LA for 25 years. My opinion hasn't changed, though. If any of you have tickets for the Lakers, feel free to take me. I'll be nice, I promise. I usually go to the much more economically viable Clippers versus Lakers for my basketball fix. The last 12 seconds here. It's not cheap. It's reasonable. Listen, Christian doesn't feed his children when he wants to watch Disney Plus. And if I want to go to a Lakers game, I lie and tell people I'm a fan. I ain't. But this last 12 seconds, Austin Reeves puts up 2 free throws. Patrick Williams makes a 23-footer. And then the second later, the ball stolen. Kobe White, 25-foot three-point shoot. And you're like, all right, that's it. Nope. Austin Reeves, another layup, 117-116 with just a couple seconds left. Josh Giddey makes a 46-foot three-pointer. Now, even if you have no idea what feet are, you only talk in terms of meters and stones. The truth is, like, this is as exciting as sports can get. Yeah. You can't have a more unlikely ending than what you have here. And you realize, of course, truth is always going to be much more fascinating than fiction. Even the end of Major League 3 couldn't hold a candle to the ending of this one.
Oh, those Chicago Bulls coming back in style. My favorite, I think, is the moment the LA Lakers guy is just like looking dead into camera.
That's great. That's great camera work.
Stop it right on that, because as a Chicago native, this is making me so happy that this is what thank you so much. I could watch this all day.
And by the way, if you look closely at me, I was in Chicago this past weekend. I bet there's still Italian beef in my beard.
Probably, but hey, save it for later.
Oh yeah, always. Al's number one. It was fantastic. But yeah, this was a pretty exciting way to end a game. But the thing that we didn't play because we don't want to get struck is the commentating was awesome. I don't know if you heard it or not, but he's doing an imitation of Red Fox repeatedly. So he does Elizabeth, this big one, and then he calls you dummy, and then he does it again, and he just keeps going with it. And the joy of the commentators was so infectious. Like, whatever mood you're in, watch this with sound up high. I guarantee it will make you smile. And if it doesn't, check yourself for a pulse.
I'm glad you picked this because I can use it as a shameless self-promotion, because we'll be playing this clip with the audio Tuesday on a show I co-host called Who Are These Broadcasters on the Who Are These Podcasts YouTube channel. Tuesdays, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Very excited that you had pulled this clip. And yes, the gameplay is fantastic, but the announcers makes it better. What I do want to go find is the Lakers call of this, because they're not going to be as happy with the way it ended. I always like to go do a little side by side when I can find multiple different team broadcasters, in a moment like that.
Amazing. Well done. Thank you so much for bringing that to us. I'm sorry I didn't catch that clip in time to get that guy's face, but I'll try and find that in just a few seconds here.
Yeah, I'll try and find them. If you
want
to go back to hosting, I'll try and find that guy.
No problem whatsoever. Well, Talia and Justin, welcome to the Geekscape Network. Thank you guys so much for coming on today. What was something that what won the week for you?
Talia, ladies first.
Me?
Yeah.
We were kind of talking before this, and I was like, what has happened outside of just work? Because that's all I've been doing this week. And then Marie reminded me of some great news that came out this week in my world. which if anyone was around in the 90s, you probably remember what happened March 31st, 1995 in the killing of Selena Quintanilla. If you don't know me, I am a huge Selena fan. She's a big inspiration in my life and like the number one reason why I wanted to learn Spanish, which, long story short, has drastically guided my life and where I am today. And today, the woman who killed her was denied, or not today, I think it was yesterday, she was denied parole. So, yay. Big happy not getting out.
That's
amazing. The best news for Selena fans right now. That's a big deal.
Honestly,
it's a big deal.
Probably really good news for her that she didn't get out because I don't think she would do very well on the outside with all of the 30 years of Selena fans that have been festering.
Yeah, and thank you, Team Ashen, for joining us here today. But woo, screw Yolanda.
I only recently heard about Yolanda's backstory, and it's like before she kills Selena, she's already a piece of shit who deserves to go to jail. So, and then she goes and does that. And look, as tragic as it is too, I mean, we also that first movie about Selena, that's kind of what foisted Jennifer Lopez on all of us. So, just imagine.
I'm sorry, Money Train.
Okay, you know what? You're right.
I don't know Money Train.
I actually hadn't heard that about Yolanda. That's good.
It was a big one for J-Lo for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm glad that I hope she never gets out of jail.
Yeah.
Can I say I hope she dies in jail, or does that sound too mean?
Is that? Yeah, I was wondering where the.
You've already said it.
Okay. Cool. All right.
We all got to die eventually. I mean, she never gets out. She's gonna die in jail.
Yeah.
Well, Justin, is there anything that won the week for you this week?
Yeah, I mean, like similar to Talia, I had like an extremely busy work week, which in some ways is a good thing. It's good to have work, so I'm not going to complain too much about that. But so I'm just going to like piggyback on a few points here, and then also talk about something that I actually can't go into detail about. But so one thing about this the Selena thing, I've also heard, and we brought up J-Lo, but apparently the actor that plays Selena's dad in the documentary, him and J-Lo apparently are like getting back together for a movie, and he's going to be her dad again in the movie. So that came out at the same time as the whole Yolanda thing. So I was just kind of like, oh, that's like,
are we talking
did they, like,
about
line that up?
Battlestar Galactica's Edward James Olmos?
Yes.
Stand and Delivers Edward James Olmos.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Selena's Edward James.
More important, Selena's. But yes, he's going to be her dad again in Netflix rom-com or something. So
also known as took a picture with me on the strike lines outside of Universal when my wife was striking with the TV writers. So I love hearing that about Edward James Olmos.
Oh, that's awesome. Bring that photo in. You know how to do that.
Sure, I do. I'll find it.
I'll just say that I guess like my win of the week, the thing I kind of can't really talk about is that my cousin, my favorite cousin, wrote a book. But she legally cannot talk about the book right now. I literally have the very first copy of the book, but I legally cannot show you the book or talk to you about the book. But just know that
play with that NDA.
Yeah, playing with if it's backwards, if I'm spinning it, if you can't see it, But I legally can't bring anything about it. But it's about family for the most part. It's about her family. I'm very proud of her, and she's doing a big book release in May, and I'll be down in North Carolina to assist her with her big book release. Yes, Janelle, that thing I'd cover. But yeah, so just super proud of her. I would say that's probably like the big win for me.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Is there anywhere where we can follow her and keep in touch just to see when the book releases?
Just bring me back in like 2 months and then I can give you more.
Copy that. Maybe we'll bring your cousin on.
Justin's being very modest. He's doing all the work for her website as well and getting that set up for her. So
that's a big deal.
Justin,
it's fine. The website editor is annoying, so I didn't want to bring it up because that's not a win, it's a lose, to be honest with you.
It's www.redacted.com.
Redactedbook.com.
Well, Marie, my good friend, what won the week for you?
So I talk about it all the time, but I am a huge 90 Day Fiance fan. I'm obsessed with the show. I've watched every iteration. I know all the couples, and it was the season finale of 90 Day Fiance: The Last Resort, which is a season where they take some of the couples that have been on the show for years, and they put them all together in this resort, and they make them go to therapy, which is great. And so it was a season finale where everybody decide whether they were going to stay together as a couple or they were going to part ways. And the couple that I can't stand, the husband, Rob. I'm just gonna say his name, Rob. They decided to separate ways, and that made my week. Yeah, I was gonna say the couple stayed together except for Rob and Sophie, and I was elated. So if you don't watch 90 Day Fiance, now you know the ending that's most important, and that's what made my week. Yeah, it's that show, it's got me in a chokehold.
I know you've talked about it a couple times on the podcast of Napping Through Happy Hour that you can find mostly on Monday mornings, releasing at 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But what's everybody's like go-to reality show, at least this week? Anybody have?
This week it was Temptation Island because that came out on Netflix, which a lot of people think it's like a new thing because it's on Netflix. It's been on. It's had like 5-6 seasons elsewhere. I can't remember where it was on, but Netflix just picked it up. So this is just the first one that's aired on Netflix. So if you want more Temptation Island, find it somewhere. They exist. There's more seasons.
Okay. How do they find those people on that show? These people are terrible people, and it makes the show that much better.
New Jersey. They're all New Jersey.
I believe it.
As someone who finally started work back up at the Amazing Race, there's a lot of Jersey.
Jersey's good. Jersey. I Dark Side of the Ring, I didn't watch the new season of yet, but I've been a huge fan of that on Vice. And they have a whole Dark Side of franchise, including Dark Side of the 90s, Dark Side of sports, really well put together. I know Vice is having some issues, so who knows how much longer we'll have it. But I think this property, the stories are pretty rich. And then separately, great documentary that's out now for rent, or I think in some theaters. Thank you very much. The Andy Kaufman documentary, which I stayed up incredibly late last night watching. Thought I'd watch maybe a few minutes, and then next thing I know, it was like 2 a.m. Fantastic doc.
Love it.
He's still alive, right?
Yeah.
That's what I want. I want a documentary that convinces me he's still alive. So this isn't the one, though. I guess this is
not the one.
Man on the Moon. Just watch Man on the Moon. It's as if he's still alive.
Bob Zamuda tells me he's alive, but all right, I won't believe him.
My dear, I'm gonna have to convert that photo that you just sent.
It's okay. Let me just do it. It's okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to not make it difficult to you. I did isolate the Lakers fan at the Bulls game. I don't know if that's in there.
Show that one more time because that was one of the best shots in history.
I'm looking for where that. I think you might have minimized that clip.
I did minimize the clip, but okay.
Because I don't have it if it's not down there in that row.
That's all right. But did you want to share the photo of you and Edward James Olmos?
Well, I do, except I don't have it this second. That's why I was going to say I need a moment.
No problem.
Then I will definitely be able to share it. Yeah.
Well, something that actually won the week for me was when we were having our podcast, Napping Through Happy Hour. Marie brought up one of the most amazing snacks that I still have not yet to have, but I do believe this is going to be something that you really enjoy. So I just wanted to share a clip from the Napping Through Happy Hour podcast, which you can follow on Instagram.
It's me, then I know where this is
like
going.
I started chugging pickle juice because of the cramps and stuff, and it's actually really helpful.
Yeah, it really is. I just downed some pickle juice myself.
You also downed a bag of pickle balls.
Pickle
which,
balls, yeah.
homie, we have got to do a little commercial for this. What are pickle balls?
So it's funny because I only bought them because I saw a deal at Costco on Instacart, and these Vlasic pickle balls showed up. I was like, I have to try that just because of what it's called. And they're dill pickle flavored corn puffs, and they're delicious.
They sound delicious, and you were also saying that they're like super low in calorie too.
Yeah, you can eat 46 balls for 150 calories. So I don't feel guilty afterwards.
Join us this week on the Napping Through Happy Hour podcast.
Yeah.
I like knowing how many balls I can consume for how many.
Yeah, you can.
I mean,
consume
right?
46 balls.
46 balls for 150 calories, which we figured out is less calories than for Cheez-Its. So
Yeah.
I'm on the hunt for that, personally speaking, because my Costco doesn't have it.
I'll
Katie,
bring
you've
it
done a
back
lot.
down to LA.
Sorry, Marie. Katie, you've done a lot of shows with me and Eric. You're like taunting us, aren't you? You're trying to get us to comment on what you're saying. You're trying to get us to make a cheap joke. And
I'm trying to
refuse
get a
do it.
bell. Thank you. Such great balls. We got to get those balls in here.
All right, so here we are. There's my wife on the left, and there's Edward James Olmos. It was it was a lot of writers from Battlestar Galactica who organized it, and he was the most prominent cast member that I was able to get a photo with. They did a Star Trek one at Paramount that maybe I'll share those pictures with you on another show, Katie.
Of course.
But if you ever wanted the answer to the question, have I ever taken a picture with LeVar Burton? The answer is yes. But there he is. And if you can see his sign, it says, "So pay we all." So for fans of, I should send that to Diallo actually, because I know he does the Galactica actual podcast. So I haven't thought of that until right now. I actually forgot I met him until you brought him up. So yeah. Very excited.
Wait, Christian, Katie, if I could get the screen, it's on my phone. I apologize, but I actually tried to do an AI version of Edward James Olmos hangs out with a nerdy fan. And ironically, it looks nothing like Edward James Olmos in AI, but the nerdy fan, Christian, it could be you in like 5-6 weeks from now.
Okay, so the guy on the left looks like George W. Bush with a beard, and the guy on the right looks like Sam Rockwell. But nicely done. So I guess this is.
And I realized with a fan.
Oh,
With a fan.
AI is nothing if not literal.
With a fan, yeah.
With a freaking fan. Oh, that's amazing.
If ever there was an Animaniacs joke, that's it right there. Here I am with a fan.
Yep, 100%, 100%. Any other shows that anybody's watching these days?
I'm so far behind on Severance. I'm enjoying the new season, but I can't talk about it because I'm like on episode 2. But you know, you were asking earlier about reality television. I have so little time for shows that I want to watch. You know, I'll hear clips sometimes from things like 90 Day Fiance, and they sound fascinating, but it also feels like they have like 40 minutes of content that they stretch out over 3 hours. So I just appreciate clips of stuff like that. The concept's great. It seems like they do a great job getting the picking the people, casting the people, as it were.
They do.
Yeah.
There's something that like stops me from watching 90 Day Fiance, and I think it hits a little too close to home. Like that was so maybe not.
I read an article that a lot of people they said sometimes it's good for couples to watch shows like that because they get to like talk about their issues from an outside perspective, like, oh, see that when that person does that sucks, right? And then you're like, see, when you do that, it sucks too. So it's kind of it probably applies to a lot of people.
Watching people go through immigration visa stuff may be a
Yeah.
little
Oh, yeah.
triggering.
That is reality for you. I
Yeah.
get it.
No,
Yeah.
that absolutely. Well, I'm glad that like also there another big news thing is that your husband is now legally an American.
Yay! As of last week, he had his oath ceremony. He's officially
Oh,
a
that's great.
U.S. citizen.
Oh, I love that.
By the way, am I allowed to say thank God then?
Yeah.
Considering
just
how
in
everything's
time.
going, thank
Literally,
God.
yeah, no, that's the thing that I kept thinking every time I saw something about it. I was like, oh my God, I don't know how that got accomplished, but I'm so glad it did because I know it's a long process.
It's a long process. It like we probably had the easiest that it could be because it can be really difficult, but with how long and like everything, it still was much easier than what a lot of people have to go through and waiting 25 years for it and all that stuff. Sort of like from start to finish, our process was maybe like 6 years, which is on the shorter end. And that's from like first filing just to move here to the States all the way to getting citizenship. So that's pretty speedy for everything. But yeah, it was a little worrisome there for a little bit. I will say like the current administration was like a big push to want to go the citizenship route and just get that security and everything. So it does feel good. It's I'm like I'm celebrating you, not the good
I was
not
going to say, I find it hilarious that your win of the week was a Selena related thing and not
your husband.
becoming a U.S. citizen. But you know what? It actually makes sense.
I'm gonna assume that Selena was in your life long before your husband,
Right.
so I respect it.
A deeper love.
I wouldn't have my
You wouldn't know
husband
him without,
without Selena. That was like truthfully, that was such a big push for me. Like I loved her music so much. I was like, I want to understand what she's saying. And so that pushed me to learn Spanish, which then pushed me to, consider doing it in college, which then I studied abroad, and studying abroad is where I met my husband. So
You studied a dude is what you studied. That's okay.
not abroad, a dude.
Hey.
Hey, there it is.
Hey.
There's that bell.
All right, here's this guy, by the way.
Yay!
Looking at him, yeah, there he is. It's
Sadness.
let me rack it back, as they say, and we'll see him there.
Yes.
There he is.
There he is.
Oh.
That look of
I'm putting that on the t-shirt.
Yeah, I
Maybe
think
we can issue a formal apology to our other friend and former colleague Tori, who is a huge Lakers fan. So
yes.
if he were here today, I don't know if he would be rubbing it in as much. But
That's what my face looked like after I spent a considerable amount of money to fly to New York to see the Mets in the World Series. And as the Kansas City Royals were celebrating on the field, I looked like that guy, except my eyes were nowhere near what was going on in the field. I was just like, all right, I can't watch this. Let's get out of here. But yeah, this is a March game against the Bulls. I think that guy's going to be fine. I think the bigger tragedy is the fact that Bronny James is on the roster of his team, but that's neither here.
Hey, he's playing all right lately. Like, let's give him a little bit.
I love in visiting cities when the home team's fans chant MVP every time that Bronny's on the court. There's nothing funnier than that. That's a top tier troll.
Amazing.
Well, wait, I'm sorry. One last thing. This was
yes,
Katie. This was from Game 6 when the Mets lost to the Dodgers.
Oh my gosh.
This
But
was
not
my
the World
version
Series.
of that. No,
It's the National
Game
League
6
Championship Series.
Right.
Yeah.
And me with the fireworks behind. My
great.
my son cheering right by me because he's a Dodgers fan.
I do love the fireworks behind you.
Yeah. That was my moment.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, sports. The only thing I really know is film. And one of the greatest shows that just dropped on Apple TV Plus, which I didn't realize I was such a big Apple TV Plus person until this week, until someone pointed it out to me. But The Studio just dropped. Seth Rogen project. Oh, guys, it's so good. One of the interesting things about the show is that every scene is done in a one shot. which is very hard to do. And a lot of the performers have actually said that it feels like doing a play, but like with higher stakes. And I forget who it was. I think it might have been Ike Barinholtz, but he was saying that, Seth and Adam, who wrote the studio, they're very nice about it, but if you fuck up, they're going to be very sweet Canadians about it, but inside they're dying. So you don't want to do that. It's really well done. We just saw the first episode. The first 2 episodes are out right now. It's incredible.
Katie, I'm realizing every single show you've ever recommended is on Apple TV Plus, and
I know.
Like you,
Silo, Severance,
Severance, Silo. What's the
Shrinking?
soccer...
Third S.
Yep. Yes. Yeah. They
Mythic
do
Quest
have a
you
moment on
recommended to me in the past. I'm like literally everything. I think you
Ted
actually are
Lasso.
sponsored by Apple.
Yeah, I was gonna say there
and
was a
that's all.
point where my wife and I realized that the only things we were watching together, and Marie just said it was Ted Lasso, Shrinking was on at the same time, and then also it was the first season of Severance. And we're like, yeah, we don't watch anything else. But the show you're talking about with Seth Rogen does sound interesting. I'll watch however many episodes they have through the end of the month. And then when my subscription runs out, I'll just have to let you tell me how it ends.
But the kids will be eaten again.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to switch over to egg beaters, not actual eggs, but that's all right.
Just switch over to egg whites. They sell them at Costco, and
There you go.
they only have those. They don't have eggs at Costco. Just egg whites.
Well, not if you don't want to get into a fist fight. Yeah, you can hang around in the
because
walk-in
of all my
cooler.
egg whites now. I think I can get into a fist fight.
Beast infection.
Yes, you know what? I'm a little bit sad. I'm not gonna lie. I know we've done this show for a couple of weeks now, but it's been a couple of weeks since Beast Infection has been taunted, and not from the Beard, not from the Jersey Devil, not even from Paul London of Geekscape's the hero of the prophecy. Can't believe it. I mean, I guess Beast Infection is just undefeated. So hopefully next week we might have some kind of challenge. But I don't know, guys. I feel like Beast Infection wins all of wrestling.
I can't speak for the Beard. I am not him.
Oh, weird.
But I will say a friend of a friend who does know the Beard says, don't rest on your laurels yet.
Okay.
Vengeance is coming. And it's coming hairy.
Well, resting is what makes Beast Infection stronger. So awesome. Well, you guys, thank you all so much for joining us here on What Won the Week. Geekscapists, thank you so much for watching. And if you can, comment down below. What won the week for you? What made your week happier and didn't mention Elon or Donald Trump? All right. We'll see you guys next week for What Won the Week next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.